The asterisk Starlight Envoy asterisk shook violently as it drifted through space. Red lights flashed across the bridge. Alarms blared. The ship had hit something strange, a space anomaly that nobody saw coming. Captain June gripped his control panel, his semi-transparent body glowing with stress inside his containment suit. Without the special suit, his gaseous form would simply float away. Like all ethereals, he needed technology to interact with the solid world. "Damage report," he called out. First Officer Da looked up from her screen, her 4 eyes blinking rapidly. "It's bad, Captain. We're losing power in sections 3 through 7. Life support is failing in the lower decks, and we're drifting toward that asteroid field." June looked at the view screen. Hundreds of massive rocks floated ahead. If the ship hit even one, they would all die. "Where is Engineer Quan?" June asked. The bridge fell silent. Then the medical officer spoke up. "Sir, Quan was in engine room 6 when the anomaly hit. A pipe burst. He's in medical bay, but his injuries are severe." Captain June's containment suit dimmed slightly, an ethereal sign of distress. Without their chief engineer, they had no one who could fix the critical systems. "The damage is in Section 5, said Dai, checking her screens. "That area has high radiation now. The temperature is dropping to -60 degrees, and some toxic gas is leaking in." One by one, the bridge crew shook their heads or waved their tentacles in denial. None of them could survive such conditions. Their bodies were too fragile. Even with protective suits, they would die in minutes. The ship shuddered again. A new alarm sounded. "We just lost main engines," said the pilot. "We're definitely going to hit those asteroids in about 12 hours. Captain June felt fear wash through his gaseous form. The asterisk Starlight Envoy asterisk carried 200 passengers and crew from 27 different species. All would die if they couldn't make repairs fast. "What about emergency help?" he asked. "Any Federation ships nearby?" Day checked the long-range scanners. "Nothing close enough, sir. The nearest ship is 4 days away." The communications officer spoke up. "Sir, there is one option." He hesitated. "There's a human outpost about 3 hours from here." The bridge went completely silent. Humans. Deathworlders. Everyone in the Galactic Federation knew about humans. They came from a planet called Earth, a nightmare world with crushing gravity, extreme temperatures, deadly weather, and vicious predators. To survive such a place, humans had evolved to become incredibly tough and strong. They could endure conditions that would kill most other species instantly. But they were also seen as dangerous, unpredictable, violent. Most Federation species avoided humans when possible. "A human could survive the conditions in Section 5, Daz said quietly. "They can handle the radiation, the cold, and the toxic gas, at least long enough to make repairs." Captain June's containment suit pulsed with uncertainty. In his 300 years, he had never worked with a human. The idea scared him. "Sir," Daz said, "we don't have a choice. We need a Deathworlder." Another alarm blared. The ship's lights flickered. "Very well," June said finally. "Send the distress call to the human outpost." The communications officer nodded and began transmitting immediately. "This is Federation Vessel Asterisk Starlight Envoy Asterisk, calling Human Outpost Epsilon. We have an emergency situation. Critical systems failing. Ship drifting toward asteroid field. Request immediate assistance." They waited. The ship creaked around them. After 1 long minute, a response came through. "This is Human Outpost Epsilon. Engineer Park responding. I'm on my way. Hold tight." The message was simple, but something in the human's confident voice made several crew members relax slightly. Captain June wasn't so sure. They were about to let a Deathworlder onto their ship. Someone whose body was built to survive horrors they could barely imagine. "I hope we're not making a terrible mistake," he whispered as the ship drifted closer to the asteroid field ahead. At Human Outpost Epsilon, Engineer Park was fixing a broken food processor when the distress call came in. The small outpost only had 12 humans who maintained a fuel station for passing ships. It was boring work. A real emergency was something new. A Federation ship. Park's boss frowned at the message. They'd normally avoid us. Park shrugged. They wouldn't call if they weren't desperate. You know how they treat humans. Last month, that Federation captain wouldn't even let you board to fix their comms. That was different. They need help now. Park grabbed his toolkit. I'm taking shuttle too. 20 minutes later, Park was racing through space toward the Starlight Envoy *. His small shuttle pushed forward at full speed. In his 10 years working this sector, he had seen plenty of Federation species. Most looked at him with fear or disgust. Deathworlder, they called him behind his back, as if being from Earth was something to be ashamed of. Park didn't care what they thought. People needed help, and he could give it. When he reached the Starlight Envoy *, he saw the damage immediately. The huge ship had deep scorch marks along one side. Several sections were dark, without power, and it was slowly turning toward a field of asteroids. Starlight Envoy *. This is Engineer Park requesting permission to dock. After a short pause, a nervous voice responded. Permission granted. Use docking bay 3. Park guided his shuttle into the massive ship. When he stepped out, he found 5 aliens waiting for him. They stood far back, as if he might attack them. One was floating inside a metal suit. That had to be an ethereal, a gas-based life form. I am Captain June, the ethereal said. Thank you for responding so quickly to our distress call. Park nodded. No problem. What's the situation? A 4-eyed alien stepped forward. I am First Officer Da. The ship hit a space anomaly. We have critical damage in Section 5. We need to fix the main power couplings and repair the guidance system, or we'll hit the asteroid field in. She checked a device on her wrist. 10 hours and 17 minutes. Okay. Take me to Section 5. The aliens looked at each other nervously. Section 5 is not safe, Captain Jun said. Radiation levels are high. Temperature is minus 62 degrees. Toxic gas is present. Park shrugged. I've worked in worse. My suit can handle it for a few hours. That's enough time to fix what's needed. Your suit. Da looked at Park's simple work clothes. But you're not wearing an environmental suit. This is it. Park pointed to his standard issue work uniform. I'll add a breathing mask for the toxic gas, but the cold and radiation won't be a problem for a few hours. The alien stared at him in shock. That's impossible, whispered a green alien with long tentacles for arms. The radiation alone would kill most species in minutes. Not humans, Park said simply. Our bodies can handle a lot more than you think. Earth has places just as dangerous. Captain Jun's containment suit flickered with surprise. Earth must be truly terrible. It's actually quite nice, Park said with a smile. Now who's going to show me what needs fixing? A small purple alien stepped forward. She had large eyes and delicate, branching antennae. I am Minji, the ship's xenobiologist. I'll guide you through the ship's systems. Great. Let me grab my tools and a breathing mask. As Park prepared, the aliens whispered among themselves. They had never seen someone so casual about entering a death zone. Minutes later, Park stood at the sealed door to Section 5. Red warning lights flashed around it. The safety systems won't let you enter, Dad explained. We'd have to override them. Park examined the control panel. Do it. We're wasting time. Captain Jun gave the override command. As the door slid open, freezing air rushed out. Warning alarms blared. Park put on his breathing mask, gave a thumbs up to the worried aliens, and stepped into the dark, frozen corridor where no one else on the ship could survive. Be careful, human, Minji called after him. Call me Park, he replied, his voice muffled by the mask. And don't worry. This is nothing compared to winter in Seoul. Park moved through the dark corridor of Section 5. His breath made white clouds in the freezing air. Ice covered the walls. Broken pipes leaked strange gases. Warning lights flashed weakly where they still worked. "Can you hear me, Park?" Minji's voice came through his earpiece. Loud and clear, he answered, shining his flashlight ahead. "I'm heading to the main power couplings first." On the bridge, Minji sat at a special console. She could see Park's vital signs on her screen. His heart beat steady and strong. His body temperature remained normal despite the extreme cold. The radiation detector on his belt showed levels that would kill her kind in minutes. "Your body is amazing," she said, then quickly added, "I mean, from a scientific view. You're in conditions that would be fatal for any Federation species." Park laughed as he turned a corner. "Like I said, Earth has places like this. We evolved to handle a lot." He reached a large chamber with massive power couplings. Most were damaged. Sparks flew from broken connections. The main power line was completely severed. "I see the problem," Park said. "The main couplings are fried. I'll need to rebuild them." He opened his toolkit and got to work. His fingers moved quickly despite the cold that would freeze most aliens solid. When a sharp piece of metal cut his hand, he simply wrapped a cloth around it and continued working. "You're bleeding," Minji said, alarmed. "Should you return for medical treatment?" "It's just a small cut," Park replied. "Humans heal fast." For 2 hours, Park worked without stopping. He replaced damaged parts. He rewired systems. He climbed up to reach high connections and squeezed into tight spaces to fix hidden problems. The aliens watched through security cameras, amazed by his strength and endurance. Suddenly, Park stopped. He was examining a strange device near the power core. "This is weird," he said. "The damage pattern here doesn't match an accident." "What do you mean?" Captain June asked, now also listening. "These cuts are too clean. And look at this timing circuit. It's been reset." Park took a closer look. "I think someone deliberately damaged these systems." A worried silence followed. "Are you saying someone on my ship caused this?" Captain June asked finally. "I can't be sure yet, but something's not right." Park continued working, now more alert. "Also, there's another problem. The quantum flux readings are off the charts." "What does that mean?" Minji asked. "It means that Space Anomaly did more than just damage your ship. It created some kind of quantum instability. If we don't fix it, the whole ship could tear apart in about 3 days." On the bridge, the aliens looked at each other in horror. Park connected the last power coupling. Lights flickered on throughout Section 5. "Got the power back," he said. "Now for the guidance system." He moved to another area where the ship's navigation computers were located. The damage was worse here. "This is going to take longer than I thought," Park said. "And I can't do it all alone." "But no one else can survive in there," Dad pointed out. "Then I'll have to teach you how to help." Park thought for a moment. "Minji, do you have protective suits that can work for short periods in these conditions?" "Yes, but only for 10 minutes at most." "That's enough. I need 2 volunteers who can come in, help with specific tasks, then get out quickly." Captain June's containment suit glowed brighter, a sign of surprise. "You want us to work alongside you?" "Yes," Park said firmly. "I can handle the worst areas, but this ship is too big and the damage too extensive for one person. I need to teach you to help yourselves." After a pause, Minji spoke up. "I volunteer." A male voice added, "I will help too. I am Hyun, tactical officer." Park smiled behind his mask. "Good. Let's get started. We have asteroids to avoid and a saboteur to find." As he waited for them to suit up, Park examined more damaged circuits. The evidence was clear now. Someone had wanted this ship to be helpless, and they might still be on board. After 6 hours of hard work, Park needed to rest. The ship was no longer in immediate danger. The power systems were fixed. The guidance systems were working again. The Starlight Envoy had changed course and was now safely moving away from the asteroid field. Park sat in the ship's dining area, eating a meal the kitchen staff had prepared. They had tried to make human food, but it was mostly bland paste. Park didn't complain. He was too hungry to care. Several crew members sat nearby, watching him with curious eyes. Humans were rare in this part of space. Most had never seen one up close before. Minji approached his table. "May I join you?" she asked. "Sure." Park moved over to make room. "The other crew members have many questions about humans," she said. "Would you mind if they ask you directly?" Park shrugged. "I don't mind." Soon, a small crowd gathered around his table. At first, they were shy. Then a young blue-skinned alien spoke up. "Is it true humans can break bones and they grow back stronger?" Park nodded. "Yes, though we try to avoid breaking bones if possible." "And you can lose large amounts of blood and survive?" asked another. "Within limits, yes. Our bodies make new blood quickly." The questions continued. Park answered each one patiently. He explained how Earth had high gravity, which made humans stronger than most species. He talked about Earth's extreme weather, from burning deserts to freezing mountains. He described the dangerous animals humans had evolved alongside. "Your planet sounds terrifying," said a small green alien with 6 eyes. "How could anyone live there?" "It's home," Park said simply. "It's beautiful too. We have oceans and forests and wide open plains. The sunset over the mountains is something everyone should see once." The aliens looked at each other, trying to imagine a beautiful death world. Hyun joined them, sitting across from Park. Unlike the others, the tactical officer seemed more curious than afraid. "Tell me," Hyun said, "how many wars have humans fought among themselves?" The room grew quiet. This was a sensitive topic. "Too many," Park answered honestly. "But we learned from them. We haven't had a global war in over a century." "That's what the purists fear," Hyun said quietly. "They say a species that evolved through conflict will always choose violence." "Who are the purists?" Park asked. Hyun glanced around before answering. "A political group in the Federation. They believe species should stay separate. They especially fear Deathworlders like humans." "That's enough politics," interrupted a tall alien wearing an official uniform. "Our guest doesn't need to hear about internal Federation matters." The alien nodded politely to Park, then walked away. "That's Ta," Minji whispered. "He's a high-ranking official traveling to the Federation capital." Park noticed how the other aliens seemed nervous after Ta appeared. "Interesting. Let me ask you all something," Park said, changing the subject. "What are your homeworlds like?" The aliens brightened and began sharing stories. Minji described her world of purple forests where her people changed colors to blend in. Hyun talked about his planet's 3 moons and how they created complex ocean tides. From across the room, Captain Jun watched the scene with surprise. The human was not at all what he had expected. Instead of the dangerous brute he had feared, Park seemed thoughtful and kind. As the stories continued, Park noticed someone else watching from the doorway. Ta, the Federation official. His expression was cold and calculating. Park had survived many dangerous situations on Earth and in space. He had learned to trust his instincts. And right now, those instincts told him something was very wrong on this ship. The danger was far from over. After 4 hours of sleep, Park returned to work. He needed to check Section 5 again. The quantum instability was still a serious problem. If he couldn't fix it, the ship would be in danger again soon. This time, Minji and Hyun came with him to the entrance of Section 5. They wore special protective suits that would keep them safe for short periods. "Remember," Park warned, 10 minutes maximum. "Then you must leave." They nodded and followed him inside. Park showed them how to check the systems he had repaired. He taught them to spot problems before they became dangerous. As they worked, Park noticed something strange behind a wall panel. "Hand me that scanner," he said to Hyun. Park scanned the panel and frowned. "There's a device here that doesn't belong. It's not on any of the ship's blueprints." He carefully opened the panel. Inside was a small black box with blinking lights. "What is it?" Minji asked. "It looks like some kind of transmitter," Park said. "Someone put it here to send signals." "To whom?" Hyun wondered. "I don't know, but I'm sure it's connected to the sabotage." Park disconnected the device and put it in his pocket. "We need to find out who placed it here." Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed. "Warning! Engine coolant leak detected," announced the ship's computer. "That's in Section 6, Hyun said. "Right next to us." Park turned to them. "Your suits won't protect you there. Go back to the bridge. I'll handle this." "But," Minji started. "Go," Park ordered. "Now." They reluctantly left as Park ran toward Section 6. The coolant system was critical. If it failed completely, the ship's engines would overheat and explode. When Park reached the engine room, he saw the problem immediately. The large pipe had burst. Blue coolant sprayed everywhere. The liquid was highly toxic and corrosive. It could burn through metal and flesh. 2 engineering crew members were trapped inside. The fallen support beam blocked their exit. The room was rapidly filling with the dangerous coolant. Without hesitation, Park entered. The coolant splashed on his work uniform, burning holes in the fabric. It stung his skin, but he kept moving. "Help us," called one of the trapped aliens. Park reached the fallen beam. It was massive, easily weighing over 500 kilograms. For most species, it would be impossible to move without machines. Park took a deep breath. He bent his knees and grabbed the beam with both hands. His muscles strained. The veins in his arms bulged. Slowly, he lifted the heavy metal beam. "Go," he grunted to the amazed aliens. "Hurry." They scrambled out as Park held the beam up. Once they were safe, he carefully lowered it back down. His arms burned with effort, but he felt proud. He had saved 2 lives. Back on the bridge, Minji and Hyun watched the rescue on the security cameras. So did many other crew members. "Impossible," whispered one. "No single being could lift that much weight." "Humans are stronger than we thought," Captain Jun said. "Or more dangerous," added Ta, who had appeared on the bridge. "This incident proves my point. Deathworlders are unpredictable, too powerful to be trusted." After sealing the coolant leak temporarily, Park returned to the bridge. His uniform was partly dissolved by the coolant. He had several chemical burns on his arms and chest, but he ignored the pain. "The leak is fixed for now," he reported. "But it wasn't an accident. The pipe was deliberately weakened. Someone wants this ship to fail." He placed the black transmitter device on a console. "And they're sending messages to someone outside the ship." All eyes turned to the device. Then Minji spoke. "I've seen something like this before," she said slowly. "It's purest technology." The room fell silent. Everyone knew what that meant. The enemy wasn't just on the ship. It was among them. Park, Minji, and Hyun met in a small storage room away from others. They needed privacy to talk about the sabotage. "The transmitter is definitely purest technology," Hyun confirmed after examining it closely. "But who put it there?" "It had to be someone with access to restricted areas," Minji said. "That limits the possibilities." Park paced the small room. "We need to check the ship's logs. See who entered Section 5 before the anomaly hit." "I can access those records," Hyun said. He used his data pad to pull up the security logs. "Strange. The logs for that day are incomplete. Someone deleted parts of them." "Can you recover anything?" Park asked. Hyun worked on his pad for several minutes. "Got something. There was an entry to Section 5 at 300 hours, just before the anomaly. The ID used belonged to—" He stopped, his eyes wide with shock. "Who?" Minji asked. "Official Tai." They looked at each other, Accusing a high-ranking Federation official was serious. "We need more evidence," Park said. "Let's examine the transmitter more carefully." Park took apart the black device. Inside were complex circuits and a small memory unit. "Can you read this?" Park handed the memory unit to Hyun. Hyun connected it to his pad. "It's encrypted, but I can break through." His long fingers moved quickly over the screen. "There. Got it." The messages appeared on the screen. They were short and coded, but the meaning was clear. The saboteur had guided the ship into the anomaly on purpose. They reported when the human arrived. They were expecting something to happen soon. "Look at the last message," Minji pointed. "It says, 'Rescue coming. Prepare for extraction.'" "Rescue?" Park frowned. "What does that mean?" Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared again. "Attention all crew," Captain Jun's voice came over the speakers. "A ship is approaching." They are not responding to communications. Park, Minji, and Hyun rushed to the bridge. On the main screen, they saw a large black ship moving toward them. "Federation registry," Captain Jun asked his communications officer. "None, sir, but its design matches known purist vessels." Ta stepped forward. "Captain, they are likely here to assist us. The purists may have controversial views, but they are still Federation citizens." Park noticed Ta seemed too calm, as if he had expected this. "Captain," Park said quietly, "we have evidence that official Ta sabotaged your ship." Tae's face darkened. "How dare you? This human is lying to create division." "Show him," Park said to Hyun. Hyun displayed the messages they had found. Captain Jun's containment suit flickered rapidly as he read them. "Official Tai, explain this," the captain demanded. Ta looked around, seeing he was surrounded. His calm facade cracked. "You fools," he hissed. "The human is the real threat. Don't you see? Deathworlders will destroy our way of life. So you damaged my ship." Captain Jun's voice was cold. "Endangered 200 lives. It was necessary," Ta shouted. "We needed to prove humans are too dangerous. When he failed to repair the ship, everyone would see the truth. But he surprised us." Ta glared at Park. Typical Deathworlder. Too stubborn to fail. The bridge crew stared at Ta in shock. "That ship out there," Ta continued, "is here to complete what I started. The purest High Command has declared humans a threat to the Federation. Your pet Deathworlder will be removed, and this incident will be properly rewritten." "You mean they'll kill Park and lie about what happened?" Minji said. Tai smiled coldly. "The Federation isn't ready for humans. We never will be." The communications console beeped. A message from the purist ship appeared on the screen. "Starlight Envoy. Surrender the human immediately. Comply or be destroyed." Captain Jun turned to Park. "I'm sorry we got you into this." "Not your fault," Park said. He looked at the approaching ship on the screen. "But we need a plan fast. That doesn't look like a ship that takes no for an answer." Captain Jun stood tall in his containment suit. "Send a message to the purist ship. Tell them we will not surrender our guest." The communications officer looked nervous but did as ordered. "Captain," Park said, "your ship isn't built for battle. That purist vessel is armed to the teeth. We have some defensive capabilities," Hyun said, moving to the tactical station. "But they're much stronger." The purist ship responded immediately. "You have 5 minutes to comply, or we will open fire." The bridge crew looked terrified. Most Federation ships were science or transport vessels. They rarely faced combat. "Captain," Park said, thinking quickly, "I need access to your defensive systems. I may be able to modify them." Captain Jun hesitated only a moment. "Do it." Park, Hyun, and several engineering crew raced to the weapons control room. The Starlight Envoy had basic shields and a few small laser cannons. Not nearly enough against a warship. "What's your plan?" Hyun asked as they ran. "Your ship has systems that weren't designed as weapons," Park explained. But on Earth, we learn to use whatever tools we have. In the weapons room, Park began working furiously. He connected systems that weren't meant to work together. He rerouted power in ways the alien engineers had never considered. The navigational deflectors, he said, pointing to a control panel. They're designed to push space debris away. If we amplify their power and focus them, they become offensive weapons. Hyun finished, understanding. Brilliant. On the bridge, the countdown continued. The Purist ship moved closer. 1 minute remaining, the communications officer announced. Captain Jun opened a channel to the weapons room. Park, we're running out of time. Almost ready, Park replied. Be prepared. This might get rough. The Purist ship sent its final message. Time's up. Prepare to be boarded. The enemy ship fired its first shots. The Starlight Envoy shook violently. Alarms blared as the shield strained against the attack. Now, Park shouted from the weapons room. Captain Jun gave the command. The modified deflectors fired, sending a powerful wave of energy at the Purist ship. It wasn't a standard weapon, but the unexpected attack caught the Purists off guard. Their ship veered sideways, temporarily disoriented. It worked, cheered Minji. Partially, Park said, rushing back to the bridge. But they'll recover quickly. He was right. The Purist ship stabilized and fired again. This time, their shots broke through the shields in Section 3. The Starlight Envoy rocked heavily. They're preparing to board us, Hyun reported, checking the sensors. Docking tube extending toward our main airlock. Park thought fast. Captain, we need to evacuate all crew from the areas near the airlock. Then I have another idea. As the crew hurried to safer sections, Park explained his plan to Captain Jun, Minji, and Hyun. It was risky, but it might work. The Purist boarding tube connected with a loud clang. Moments later, the airlock door began to spark as the Purists cut through it. Park stood waiting, holding a makeshift weapon he had created from engineering tools. Behind him, Hyun and several brave crew members waited with whatever weapons they could find. The airlock door fell open. Armed Purist soldiers in heavy battle armor rushed in, weapons raised. Surrender the human, their leader demanded. Right here, Park called, stepping forward with his hands raised. Just me. No one else needs to get hurt. The Purist leader approached cautiously. The Deathworlder surrenders so easily. How disappointing. Park smiled, not exactly surrendering. He pressed a hidden button on his wrist. Suddenly, the gravity in the corridor reversed. The Purist soldiers, unprepared for the change, floated helplessly toward the ceiling. Their heavy armor, designed for normal gravity, made it impossible for them to maneuver. While they struggled, Park pushed off the wall, moving easily in the zero gravity. On Earth, astronaut training was standard for space engineers. He smoothly disarmed the confused Purists one by one. Humans evolved on a high-gravity world, Park explained as he collected their weapons. It makes us pretty good at adapting to gravity changes. Within minutes, the first wave of boarders was captured, but more were coming. On the bridge, Captain Jun watched with amazement as the humans single-handedly defeated armed soldiers. I think, he said quietly to Minji, I've been wrong about Deathworlders all this time. More Purist soldiers poured through the airlock. Park knew they would be ready for the zero-gravity trick this time. He needed new tactics. Hyun, he called through his communicator. Can you change the lighting in Section 2? Yes, Hyun replied from the bridge. What do you need? Make it flash on and off rapidly. Then cut the heat. Make it cold. Park turned to the crew members who had volunteered to help fight. We need to split up. Use the ship to our advantage. The Purist commander sent his troops down both sides of the corridor. They moved cautiously, learning from the first group's mistake. They wore magnetic boots now to counter gravity changes. As they entered Section 2, the lights began to flash wildly. The temperature dropped rapidly. Frost formed on the walls. Don't be distracted, ordered the Purist commander. The human is trying to confuse us. They continued forward, weapons ready. Suddenly, something purple moved in the shadows. The purists fired, but hit nothing. "What was that?" asked one soldier nervously. The purple shape appeared again, closer now. Again. They fired and missed. "Show yourself," shouted the commander. The shape stepped into view. It was Minji. Her natural purple skin had changed color to match the corridor walls. Her species could camouflage themselves, a trait evolved for hiding from predators. Now she used it to distract the purists. While they focused on Minji, Park attacked from behind. He moved faster than the purists expected, disarming 2 soldiers before they could react. When one purist fired at him, Park didn't dodge as expected. Instead, he charged directly at the shooter. The purist was shocked. No rational being would run toward weapon fire, but Park had calculated the risk. The grazing shot burned his shoulder, but he tackled the shooter to the ground. "He's insane," yelled one purist. He ran into the fire. "Not insane," Park grunted as he fought. "Just human." Throughout the ship, the crew began fighting back. They watched how Park used the environment and started doing the same. Hyun discovered his long limbs gave him reach advantages in tight spaces. A plant-based crew member released defensive spores that confused the purist soldiers' breathing filters. Each alien used their unique biology in new ways. On the bridge, Captain Jun watched the security feeds with amazement. The crew was fighting using Deathworlder tactics. Park took a moment to catch his breath behind a barricade. His shoulder hurt from the weapon burn. He had cuts on his face and arms, but he kept fighting. On Earth, humans had learned to push through pain and exhaustion when necessary. "Park." Minji's voice came through his communicator. "Are you injured? Your vital signs show pain." "I'm fine," Park replied. "How are we doing?" "The crew is holding them back, but the purist ship is preparing to fire on us again." Park thought quickly. They couldn't fight on 2 fronts for long. Then he had an idea. "Minji, remember the quantum instability I found? Where exactly was it strongest?" "Section 5, near the power core." "Why?" "Because we're going to use it. Tell Hyun to meet me at engineering control. I need his help to create a quantum pulse." Park fought his way to engineering, ignoring his injuries. There, he and Hyun worked quickly to modify the power systems. "If we create a controlled quantum pulse," Park explained, "we can aim it at the purist ship. Their shields aren't designed to handle quantum distortions. But that's incredibly dangerous," Hyun warned. "One mistake, and our ship could be torn apart. That's why we need to be precise." Park calibrated the equipment with steady hands. "This is happening either way. The quantum instability is growing. Better to use it than let it destroy us." On the purist ship, the commander grew frustrated. "Why haven't you captured the human yet? He's just one Deathworlder." "Sir," replied a soldier, "he doesn't fight like anyone we've trained against. And now the whole crew is fighting like him." The commander slammed his fist down. "Prepare the main weapons. We'll destroy the whole ship if necessary." But before they could fire, a strange wave hit their ship. Alarms blared as systems failed throughout the vessel. The quantum pulse had worked. "What's happening?" the commander demanded. An officer checked the readings. "Some kind of quantum attack. Our shields can't stop it." Back on the Starlight Envoy *, Park watched the sensor readings. "It's working. Their systems are failing." For the first time since he'd arrived, Park allowed himself a smile of victory. 3 days later, the Starlight Envoy * was safe. Federation security ships had arrived to arrest the purist soldiers and tow away their damaged vessel. Tai and the other purist conspirators were in custody, facing serious charges for sabotage and attempted murder. Park worked tirelessly to complete the final repairs. The quantum instability was gone, neutralized by the pulse they had created. The ship's systems were working better than before. As he finished the last repairs in engineering, Park heard footsteps behind him. He turned to see Captain June approaching, his containment suit glowing brightly. "Engineer Park," the captain said formally, "your work is complete. The Starlight Envoy is saved, thanks to you." Park wiped sweat from his forehead. "Just doing my job, Captain." "No, you did far more than your job." Captain June's voice was serious. "You taught us something important about humans, and about ourselves." Park put down his tools and listened. "The Federation has always feared Deathworlders," June continued. "We thought your strength and resilience made you dangerous. We never considered that those same traits could make you exceptional protectors and allies." Minji and Hyun joined them, along with many other crew members. They gathered around Park, their faces showing respect instead of fear. "I have sent a formal recommendation to Federation headquarters," Captain June announced. "I have proposed that you be offered a permanent position as a Federation engineer, the first human to receive such an honor." Park was stunned. "I don't know what to say." "Say yes," Minji urged, her purple skin brightening with excitement. "We need more humans in the Federation. Your perspective is valuable." "The purists were wrong about humans," Hyun added. "They saw only the potential for violence in your Deathworld evolution. They missed everything else: your creativity, your problem-solving, your willingness to help others despite risk to yourself." Park looked around at the alien faces. When he first arrived, they had stared at him with fear and suspicion. Now they looked at him with friendship and respect. "I would be honored to accept," Park said finally. The crew cheered. Some clapped their tentacles together. Others hummed in their species' way of showing approval. "There is one more thing," Captain June said. He motioned to a crew member who brought forward a small box. "In Federation culture, when someone saves a ship, each crew member offers a token from their homeworld. It is our highest honor." One by one, the crew members presented Park with small gifts. Minji gave him a crystal that changed colors like her skin. Hyun offered a small vial of luminous liquid from his world's glowing oceans. Each gift was unique, each representing a different alien world. "I don't know what to say," Park said, deeply moved. "You don't need to say anything," Captain June replied. "Just know that you will never again be seen as just a Deathworlder on this ship or any Federation vessel. You are Park, our friend and colleague." Later, as Park prepared to return to Outpost Epsilon to pack his belongings, he looked at the collection of alien tokens. Each represented a world he had never seen, cultures he had never experienced. Now he would have the chance to visit them all. His communicator beeped. A message appeared on the screen. "URGNT. Federation Science Vessel Horizon Seeker stranded in Sector 12. Life support failing. Gravitational anomalies present. Request immediate Dithwar. Correction. Request human assistance." Park smiled. Things were changing already. He sent a quick reply accepting the mission, then picked up his toolkit. The universe was a dangerous place for all species. Sometimes that danger required a Deathworlder's help. As he boarded his shuttle, Park looked back at the Starlight Envoy *. For centuries, humans had looked to the stars and wondered if they would find their place among alien civilizations. Now he knew the answer. The age of the Deathworlders had begun.